What's your biggest character flaw? I worry about the smallest and ridiculous things. Being impatient with people I deeply care about. My mental health issues have ruined and continue to ruin all aspects of my life. Procrastination and lack of motivation to do the things I actually have love, passion, and talent for. I trust people way too easily. Somehow one of my strengths doubles as a major flaw. I'm pretty open and easy to trust, but it goes both ways. Unless I get a gut feeling about someone, I'm pretty gullible and far too trusting. I will disregard an entire person for one stupid viewpoint they hold. Cowardice. My life revolves around avoiding failure and rejection. I'm a one-upper. I really don't mean to. It's meant to show I have a shared experience with whomever I'm speaking to, but it never comes out that way. I care. I tried to do what's right too much. I am very unsatisfied with the nature of life. Learn, experience, progress, love, then you just die. It's all aggravatingly pointless. I can never be happy with life because of the constant thought. It eats at my mind and I feel like everything I do is a distraction from the looming dread that is death and the consequent loss of everything I've accumulated. I wish I believed in God. Introverted. I wanna be social, but when I'm actually in a social setting, house party, potluck, fundraiser, etc., I begin to panic and try to find a bathroom to hide in or leave the event. I hardly ever say bye to anyone because I'm afraid they'll try to convince me to stay longer. My anxiety at these social events is slowly reducing my number of friends. I define myself by my failures. I can be pretty selfish. I care about other people. I just usually base my behavior off of what I want to do rather than what other people want me to do. I like helping people, but at the same time I can get frustrated when asked to do anything slightly inconvenient for me unless I want to. I'm always tired. I'm not lazy, but I'm definitely always wishing I were home in my bed if I'm somewhere else, and it sucks to be that person. I'm either way too full of myself or have no confidence at all. No in between. I can't be satisfied with what I have. Every time I finally get something that I wanted in the past, I end up wanting more than before. I literally tried to steal the moon. Where do you go after that? I have a brutal lack of determination. If it's not an order, I probably will not do it. I just gestured to all of me. I tend to be very stubborn when it comes to opinions on certain matters. There is no way to change my mind, unless you can give me concrete evidence that disproves my opinion. I like that I stick to my beliefs no matter if they are popular or not, but I do wish that I could be more open to accepting others' beliefs. Lying about small, insignificant things to seem more interesting. I get burned out too easily. I'm 32 and just started college again because I felt my current job was a dead end, and I hated everything about it. The customers, the products, everything. I'm just totally burned out, which is why I'm afraid of getting burnt out on college. I can't get a new job without new skills and a degree, but I let hate fuel me. My future isn't going to be some retail store manager gig. I want to actually be something. I'm very performance-driven, to the point where I will overextend myself and burn out before I speak up. I'm getting better though. As humble as I try to act, I have a pretty bad superiority complex. I pretend to be cheerful and have everyone convinced that I am. Deep down, it's just a show. I have a few insecurities. People tell me I always look nervous and I'm not, but now I'm always self-conscious about looking nervous. I hate change. I give zero shits. I can't seem to care about pretty much anything. Like a relative will die and I'll be like lol oof. I lie to myself to feel less pain. Just the small simple fact that I like drugs more than people. Not addicted. No, seriously. I'm fine. People aren't reliable, so I found something that is. I have a problem with extreme envy and tend to attribute others' successes to special advantages. E.g., they have a cherry disposition so people want to help them, or they're getting financial help I'm not getting, or just luck. So, because I view myself as not having those advantages or having a disadvantage, I view things as unachievable for myself. So then I don't put in much effort and surprise. I don't get those successes or things I want. It's a cycle. It's a lot to do with low self-esteem. Sometimes I literally think I just suck so bad that the universe itself is against me, my main disadvantage. I consider myself a logical person yet place a lot of stock in luck. Luckily, haha. Other times I see how absurd that sounds. My social skills and shyness. When I get sad or feel hurt, I get angry. Overanalyzing everything, any look, gesture, comment. My insecurities are through the roof. I'm pretentious. I put myself on a pedestal. Why? Is there a mouse on the floor? I primarily want to connect emotionally with people, but I can't find the words when it matters most. This leads to blurting out the wrong thing or just silence. It's frustrating because I keep what I'd call an overall chill demeanor, but I can become frazzled quite easily. For example, this just happened just yesterday. I asked out a girl working at KFC during a busy workday. I have known her prior to going into the Colonel's den from her buying stuff from my work across the street. I guess I felt like I picked up subtle hints she was into me. Anyway, I asked her out and she said yes. But as I said, she was busy at work. So we agreed to just meet later to set it up since we both know where each other work. I come back into the KFC a couple days later and wow, she's on break. What luck. Anyway, I approach pretty nervous, just saying, "Hey, I came to see you." Exchanged how do you do's when she tells me she's having a terrible day. All I muster up is an "I'm sorry to hear that," and then there was silence. This is where the fun begins. She then just says, "I don't really feel like talking right now," and said, "Have a good one." Ouch. Another really sad example is that I can be too hard on my dad for small shit. He's the type to gripe quite a lot about dumb stuff that happens. Basically, he doesn't like his milk spilled. But I'll often get upset at him for being so mad. I just let his emotions control of emotions sometimes. Wow, I think I just found out a biggest character flaw is I just take shit too seriously. Emotions can often turn off my logical side and cause me to overreact or become reclusive. So I guess I would just like to keep working on developing a more relaxed perspective on things in general. My entire character. I push all the blame on myself and never let it go if it inconveniences anyone. I tend to find the merit to both sides of everything, social issues, politics, etc., which makes it hard for me to pick a side and stick with it. I have pretty much no determination to do anything, and I feel my emotions are dulled to the point I feel out of body and forcing myself to smile, laugh, cry, get mad, every day. I'm trying to reverse something and make me feel normal emotions again, but I'm not determined enough. I don't like accepting help, ever. I joke around a lot. It's my way to show people I like them, because I like to make them laugh. However, it's also a way for me to deal with anxiety and other emotions. Sometimes I have a hard time turning it off and can't help but joke around at times when I should be taking things seriously, and I know that can bother people. I get attached to people way too easily and I care too much. I don't feel like I bring anything to conversations. I just kind of use generic statements to carry them on, ask meaningless questions, nod and laugh. I can rarely start a conversation on a brand new topic eloquently. I also twist my hair way too much. I am extraordinarily humble. I have to go all or nothing with everything I do. Makes a new change extremely difficult and hard to achieve. If one little thing goes wrong, I bail. My biggest character flaw is that my love kinda sucks. Skeptical smiley face. Never seems to be enough for myself or others. That or I lie to myself, lol. I'm too trusting in my optimism that people are inherently good and then I get screwed over. I overshare. I'll tell people things that looking back I realize no one else shares about themselves. It's like I hear myself doing it, but the filter between my brain and my mouth malfunctions. In a professional setting it's incredibly unprofessional to share personal details. In a personal, social setting it comes across as weird, and I'm sure it makes people annoyed, uncomfortable. I'm working on it and practicing keeping that filter in place. I worry constantly, to the point where it sometimes interferes with things like sleeping and doing daily activities. Something I've heard a couple of times before is that people are really bad at knowing themselves. That said, my greatest weakness might just be not knowing my actual greatest weakness. Laziness. Clinginess. Really insecure. Smart ass. Too loud. I understand criticism, but I hate hearing it. I'm 20, but I still think that criticism is a personal attack at me. If it's worded well, I'll be okay, but I still feel argumentative on the inside when someone criticizes my work. I don't get dark vision till level 10. At this point the only thing I'm caring about is staying afloat financially, so I often forget a lot of things. Example, I forgot the new guy's name at work. It's been 3 weeks. Everyone calls him by his nickname, so I just go with it cause I'm working. I can't detach emotionally from things. I have the opposite problem. I can become emotionally detached. It's kind of a coping mechanism for me though, but honestly, I believe that being too emotionally invested in something is better than feeling nothing at all. At least with detachment you have some sense of autonomy. With emotional investment, that is unwilling. It is like that item or being owns you. I have a threshold that if passed I will give absolutely zero about what I say or who I say it to. If I feel wrong, I absolutely will speak out regardless of the consequences. It's almost cost me my job, and I have absolutely been in the hot seat more than once because of it. I don't talk shit. I don't antagonize. But once I get past the point of no return, I will not back down and I will hold my ground regardless of what the other option would be. Saying sorry, nah, not gonna happen. Admit I'm wrong, nah, not if I'm at this point. I don't really like most people. If I have to socialize, e.g. a birthday party, I dread it for weeks before, then do an Irish goodbye before everyone else is leaving. I'm a hypocrite. I'm extremely awkward and don't have many friends. Reddit allows me to interact with a lot of people without actually having to see them. I also am in high school and still don't know how to talk to pretty girls. I am also suffering from self-diagnosed gaming disorder. Sometimes I spend all day on electronics and I put my responsibilities behind me. Whenever my parents try to get me to stop, I get angry and sometimes violent. This is my biggest flaw. I allow myself to be chained to electronics, as if I have no cares in the world. It is just so hard to stop once you're hooked. With all that said, I am glad to say it is getting a little better. Arrogance. I'm too afraid to change from who I am into who I want to be. Also, I'm old as now and it's exponentially more difficult. I'm really aloof with people. I was bullied so much in high school I kinda assume everyone has a secret asshole side that they will unleash the moment they get to know me well enough to decide I'm pathetic and deserving of their contempt. So I basically keep almost everyone but a select few at arm's length. That I can't shut the up. I know I need to listen, but I just talk and talk and talk because some little part of me has something to prove to the world. I hate that I can't change this. Too shy, even though I have no reason to be. I am too hard on my son and I know that it will affect his relationship with me in the future. Please, for the love of God, fix this. It's not too late. Alcoholic. Too insecure. Not finishing what I start. Lack of empathy. Passive aggressiveness. 'Cause I love everyone, but they are also pieces of shit. Nothing makes really sense and it's pure hell. But if people get my jokes, that's the nearest I can get to happy. By my standards RN. If I am nervous about something I just avoid it until it's an actual problem. Laziness and impatience. Those are probably connected, too. I don't want to go to events but I still want to be invited. Never had a heart to refuse someone who likes me. I don't know why but I just can't say no even the relationship only stayed for a week or more. That made me stamp being a playgirl because I changed boyfriend a lot and got bullied back then. My superiority complex. Besides that I'm perfect. I'm doing something. Look at the time. And bam 7 hours passed without really knowing what the I did. I have zero concept of time and distance. Oh 5 miles isn't bad. I can easily walk it. Rip my poor feet. People think my past makes me a villain. And while technically true I have made long strides to becoming a hero for my girls. I don't trust anyone. Being betrayed many times by people that I trusted has helped me learn that when it happens again, it's nothing new or shocking. Just move on to find better and more reliable people. Not trusting anyone plainly robs you from having a chance to meet decent people. Don't let bad experiences get to you and cut you off from anything good that will likely happen in the future. It's unfair to yourself. Feeling guilty for the smallest things. A hardwired resistance to accepting compliments. I always feel like people who compliment me are trying to manipulate me. Great ideas, very little follow through. My anxiety disorder. Laziness is a big one but low self-esteem is my biggest flaw. Probably my social awkwardness, inability to talk to people and make friends. It makes it pointless to go anywhere I don't need to and sort of forces me to isolate myself away from people. Laziness. The more lazy I am, the more lazy I become. Hard to break it now. I procrastinate often, and continually try to come up with reasons to put things off. Crippling fear of rejection. I spent my childhood mostly alone and in a house with drug addicts, the mentally and terminally ill, and then to top it off me, who was secretly more up than all of the above. When I was in high school I could go weeks without talking to anybody, and I mean not a single word coming out of my mouth anywhere at any time. Now I'm in my late 20s and, I think, as normal as anybody as physically and mentally as I am has any right to be. I don't know how to be intimate with other people anymore, to the point that if I ever manage to bring myself to attempt that when the smackdown comes it is like being sent into a time machine to my darkest moments. And nobody wants to be in my darkest moments. I don't think most people, normal people, realize how much of a nightmare everyday existence can become. When I was a kid I lost the ability to separate reality from the things in my head. I used to hear a baby crying and I never knew where it came from. The walls moved. I'd see shadows moving around me or hear laughter that when nobody was around and wonder if it was coming from my head or not. Why put myself through that? No, I'll be alone. I can deal with alone. If I'm going to be insane and traumatized I'd rather do it alone than bear it to others some more and reopen that particular Pandora's box of horror. Oh boy, how do I even pick just one?